If I lost everything tomorrow, no clients, no contacts, no reputation, and all I had was a laptop and Wi-Fi, I reckon I would rebuild a profitable web design business within 12 months. Not because I'm special, not because I'm a design prodigy, but because I know how to find clients, sell projects, and deliver results fast. Most people waste months learning Figma or obsessing over animations, and that's not actually what makes you the money. What does make you the money is understanding how businesses make money and building websites that help them do it. So if you don't know who I am, I'm George. I'm a Webflow certified partner. I'm in no way affiliated with Webflow other than the fact that I'm part of their partner program, which enables me to unlock benefits as an agency owner. For almost 8 years, I've run a UK-based web agency. So in this video, I'm basically going to talk about how to start an agency. And now, to be clear, this is not how I run my agency today. But to get to where I am now, this is exactly how I started. So if you're starting from zero, this is exactly what I would recommend you do. Most YouTube channels overcomplicate this, ultimately because they're trying to sell you a course. Often these channels will tell you to go and learn Figma and then learn Webflow, which, it's quite a ambiguous statement. Like you could spend months learning Figma and still not know everything, and you could spend years learning Webflow and still not know everything. What my channel is going to be about, it's not going to be teaching you how to cheat, but ultimately I'm going to teach you the important aspects that actually run the business and make you money. I do recommend, if you have the time, to explore these subjects deeper, especially Webflow. They have a free university which you can do, which I would highly recommend. I spent probably 2 or 3 years doing the full university and the various sub-courses, but my channel is going to be all about helping people build an online business like I dreamt of almost a decade now ago, which I find crazy. This is exactly how to do it. It's going to take effort and persistence. It's not just going to be handed to you on a plate, but if you stick with it and follow my processes, I'm very, very confident that it will pay off for you. So just to be totally transparent, I'm not selling a course. I'm not building a funnel. I'll be honest in saying if this channel drives traffic to my studio, great, but I'm not banking on that and I don't need your money. So I'm just here to show you what works, cut the shit, and actually help you build something real and quickly. So in this video, I'm going to be talking about 5 steps that I would take to rebuild from zero and run a profitable web agency in 2025. Firstly, you're going to want to go to Webflow. So this is Webflow. I'll leave a link in the description. As I said, I'm not affiliated, so I'm not actually making any money from recommending you go to Webflow. I do make money through Webflow as my business is a partner agency, but that doesn't mean to say that I get any money for sign-ups or anything like that. I would just sign in with Google, but obviously do whatever you feel is best for you. Welcome to my world. So this is I remember the first time I discovered this, I was absolutely blown away. But these are all website templates. A lot of them you can't clone, but if you see this little icon here, it means you can copy it. If you just go on this little toggle here, it only shows you the ones which you can clone, which is just awesome. It's not just full websites here. You've got like little components, like this looks like the like the Apple Mac thing at the bottom, which I think is really cool. But yeah, it's just little things like that. But yeah, actually, I think rather than just putting the link in, I think I'll be able to find it. So if you just type in like agency, web design agency, clonable. Yeah, perfect, this one here. I'd highly recommend this one, and the reason being, so you can open the live site or you can actually look at it in Webflow just to see what like the back end looks like. Top tip, if you're ever buying a template, make sure you check it out in Webflow first, because sometimes the template looks a lot more complicated and advanced than it actually is under the hood. But anyway, so you can see on here it's got a load of kind of like random stock images with generic templates, and you can just leave these on here, and it's not going to make a big difference. Clients just want to see some images, and I think the fact that you're using Webflow and you're following my processes, like you're gonna leave a good result in the end anyway. So wouldn't worry about it too much. Just take it for what it is, and that's a really nice little portfolio page that you can kind of refer your clients to. Because the number one question people are going to ask when you do work with them is, can I see your previous work, or do you have a business, do you have a website, whatever. So I'd highly recommend just going into Webflow, cloning this into your account like so. So let's just call it example studio. I recommend having a name which is something studio. It works for me, so that's all I can say. I love this template because it's actually the logo is just text, so you can literally just like replace that. Example studio. I think in future I'm going to do a bit more of a in-depth guide as to actually how to edit Webflow sites and do stuff, because it's it's kind of like a whole skill in itself. It's just editing templates, but I want to keep this video pretty succinct, and I think this is something which you can explore with way better tutors, because there's Webflow University, there's shitloads of people on YouTube that are just way better than I am at explaining these things. I'm purely just trying to help Steve in the right direction of just starting a business and getting it going. But yeah, anyway, you've also got this little thing down here which is like get started, so you can like this is more for a fresh site. To be fair, it doesn't really make a lot of sense for a pre-built template, but the crux of it is you can just sort of click on things, and on this left hand side you've got the individual elements. So if you wanted to like select something, you can select it on here, and then on this side you've got your settings. So it's just kind of like Microsoft Word but kind of spread out. So you've got like your spacing, your alignment, this stuff here. You got padding, and then margin is outside the box, padding is inside the box. When you're using a template like this, just don't touch any of that. The only things you're really going to want to do is potentially change the fonts or the sizes, but then again I wouldn't, because you've got to think about the fact that it's responsive, and this font size, if I was to increase it on here, it might then break it on mobile. So if I were you, I'd just focus on changing the text, maybe changing some of the imagery. But yeah, and in order to do this really quickly, what I would do is if you install this lovely little plugin up here, go full page. I'll leave a link to it. You can literally just yeah, you can literally just click this button and it will just capture the whole page. And then if you just basically save that, drop it into ChatGPT, so pop it into here, and then just say I've started a web design agency called Example Studio, please fill out the generic copywriting so I can start getting clients, and let it do its thing. So yeah, you get the idea. You get ChatGPT to write it out, and it might ask you a few questions, but you can do the prompting, and then just say, listen, provide it back to me in a way that I can just copy and paste it into the existing format. And yeah, that should make it super easy for you. And just to give this guy some credit, this guy's called Desio, and yeah, he's awesome. He's also another Webflow partner. So this is what I am as well. Only mine is slash what is it? Loon Studio. Yeah, so this is my profile, and yeah, you can see some of my work on there. But yeah, that's a bit getting sidetracked now. So yeah, once you've sorted that out, I would edit this template so you've like customized it properly, and then once you're done with that, go back to the site settings. I'd highly recommend watching a little tutorial on just like the basics of Webflow. It will tell you pretty much all you need to know. And then yeah, once you're ready, you want to get a site plan. So I'd just go for the basic. Don't worry about what CMS and this stuff is for now. In this tutorial, I'm just going to be showing you how to do basic websites for basic businesses, because that's all you need to do to get started. So yeah, get that, and then go on to GoDaddy for your domain. It's pretty much the same prices throughout, but I've always found GoDaddy to be pretty transparent with things. So let's just put like example studio .io, whatever, like whatever you want. Alright, I don't think £44. Examplestudio.co.uk. I'm in the UK, so that would work for me. 1p. It never is 1p, it'd probably be like £5 or something. £5 or $8 or whatever you want to call it. But yeah, it's pretty cheap, and yeah, just get that. So essentially that, your workspace plan, which is your Webflow account, which is probably going to be about £20, $30 a month, and then you've got your website hosting, which is this here, so that's what, like $14 a month. But if you want to do it on a monthly basis, they always get you with these little togs here. But yeah, $18 a month, so you're looking at maybe like $40 to $50 a month, and then another $10 for your domain per annum. So split that into, it's basically like a dollar a month, so you're looking at about $40 to $50 a month just to run your business, which I think is pretty fucking amazing, considering it's you know, how much money you can actually make selling websites. So anyway, without further ado, once you've got your site plan and you've got your domain, you want to go into publishing and connect up your domain. Just thinking I can show you actually in my own account. And you can see as you can see, I've got all these different domains. I need to update a few things on my certificates, but yeah, you can see you just essentially go to here and click add custom domain, quick connect domain, then it will open up GoDaddy, you click accept, and then it will feed it through back into your account, and then you'll have a live website. So yeah, ultimately that's what you need to do to get started and have a place to point to clients. So this brings us on to step or chapter 2, which is picking the right clients and building fast. So this is an example client of mine, which was actually I think it was my second or third ever client. This guy is a roofer. He's based in the north of England, and it's just a one-man band business. And I think he paid me maybe £1,000 for this website, and I have done a few extra little bits to it, like these custom things. So it's not totally as it was, but you can see that it's quite a simple. It's a one-page site. So these little things at the top here, they auto scroll using a section ID, which you can see here, #gallery. So that's like this section here. But this is exactly what I would recommend starting with, is these types of businesses. Not only because they're simple businesses, but also the people behind them are usually quite simple people, not in terms of intelligence, but in terms of how they want to be dealt with, and you know, how fussy they are. They're usually quite relaxed and easygoing, because it's quite a simple business. You know, it's we fit roof, we get paid, we leave, you leave review. That's about it. It's really nice and simple, and they're good clients to work with. So yeah, I would recommend, and in this tutorial I'm going to be sort of tailoring my approach to trade businesses or construction businesses, handyman businesses, whatever you want to call them, wherever you are in the world. But yeah, so I think in terms of clients, this part can really make or break your business. I think if you choose the wrong type of client early on, you'll burn out before you've even started. And I think when you're starting out, like, forget the dream brands and go after service businesses like this. They don't care about design awards, they care about leads, bookings, and visibility. And all I would suggest is just pick one niche to start with and go all in. My business currently, we operate in about 6 or 7 different sectors. So, you know, I'm kind of going away from this advice, but I think when I first started, I niched down, and that's really what helped me get started, is the fact that I wasn't trying to cater to everyone. So yeah, as I said, for me it was trades businesses, so plumbers, electricians and roofers really. Simple, practical websites that directly impact their income. And we'll use one of my first ever clients, which is the Tin Man, or TTM Roofing as he likes to be called, as our reference point. And you can easily build something like this in Webflow using a tool called Reloom. And Reloom is essentially a library which kind of like is separate but also plugs into Webflow, and it's like a library of pre-built components, component being a section of a website. And this is essentially allows you to just drag and drop elements into a website, add text, add images, add a bit of styling if you want, and you'll have a beautiful website which will be responsive. When I say responsive, I mean across different screen sizes, so laptop, tablet, mobile, horizontal mobile, widescreen view. Yeah, you get the idea. So yeah, you pick your sections, you drop in their branding, generate the text with ChatGPT. You've got a small business website in hours. So clients don't really care if they took you 5 hours or 50, they just care that it works, especially these types of clients. So the goal here for our business initially is fast, functional, clean, and that is the focus. Yeah, and just to show you exactly how to do this, well, not exactly, but I'm going to show you how to get started in building a website like the Tin Man one here. So yeah, this is the idea. We're trying to build something like this. So in Webflow, if you go into create a new site, call it blank site, just call it like roofing template. And the beauty with this is once you've built one, you can essentially just copy and paste it and build another one. I've done this a few times with these simpler sites. My current clients nowadays, don't get me wrong, like I'm not a cowboy at all. Like I genuinely do bespoke builds. We do massive builds. We have a team of quite a lot of developers now, which it's very different to this. But this ultimately is how to get started, and everyone's got to start somewhere. So anyway, once you've started a new project, give this little plus icon up top, and then you see layouts here. See this little blue button down the bottom here. Click on that, and then welcome to the world of Webflow libraries. So go on to free libraries here, and then go on to Reloom here, or you can just Control F or Command F and type in Reloom if you want to find something quick. And then install the library for free. I do have the paid version of this library. I think it's like 20 or 30 quid a month, but you don't need it. Like you get most of the components in the free, all the like foundational components, all the ones you'd actually need to get a functioning website, you've got in there for free. So anyway, once you've installed the thing, just got to go back into once you've installed the library, just go back into the project. Make sure you're on design up here. Sometimes when you can't see anything, you're like, what's going on? And then you just go up here and click request design control. It's because I'm on it just here. But yeah, so once you're on here, go back to the little plus thing, go back to layouts, and now you will see Reloom has been installed. And as you can see, you're going to see a bit of a coincidence here. This, memorize that, okay? So you've got your nav bar, boom, dropped in. Then you want to have a header section. What have we got on here? So it's like that. So it's that on there, boom on here, and then what is it? I think it's this section next, or a layout section on here. Yeah. See, rather than just dragging it into here, what I would recommend is sort of like putting it. Try and use this as much as possible. See how it's got like the little lines here? That means that it's going to be going inside of this. So if you just take it above it, so it's like adjacent to this one here, and then drag it below it, you've then got it below. This navigator honestly is like amazing, so just use that rather than having to drag things in, or else you're going to end up having stuff like this where it'll be like inside this box, and then it'll be like, oh my god, what's going on, and then you're going to hate Webflow and never use it again. So yeah, just use the thing on the side, make your life easy, and yeah, you can see it's just got a general flow. So it's got like a navigation bar, a hero section, which is like the main top of the website. We call it above the fold. Just like an intro section, the gallery of like what they do, some of the services that they offer. It's super fucking simple, basic flow. You've got some sliders. This isn't in Reloom, but I can include this in a later video if you guys want. And then there's like testimonials, having some feedback. You can just ask your client, you know, if you've got any good reviews or whatever, or get your mum to write one for you. As long as it's like relatively legit, I don't see a problem including it. And then having a form. Everything in here is in Reloom apart from the sliders. So you just got to scroll through here, have a little play around. In the actual Reloom paid one, it's pretty cool because you've got like fully pre-built pages, which are really cool. But in the free one, it doesn't, and I'm not going to expect you guys to go ahead and just throw so much money into this. So, you know, to get started with your business and get your first sort of five to 10 clients in, this is exactly what you should be doing. It's what I did, and it worked. So yeah, that's all I can recommend. Cool, I hope that helped. And now I'm going to talk about the pricing and revenue model. So how to actually make some money. Let's talk money. So when you're starting out, you want to keep your pricing really simple. Forget day rates and retainers. For your first handful of sites, I'd aim for between £400 to £1,000 or $400 to $1,000. Enough to make it worth your time, but not so high that it scares people off. And also, the higher you charge, the more expectations you have. So, you know, your first 5 to 10 clients, you want to keep the expectations nice and low, which gives you the breathing room to test things out and essentially get confident and get some experience under your belt. Because that's really where the value comes from in your first 5 to 10 clients, not the money. So for a basic website, there's 3 tiers on Webflow. There's like a basic, CMS, and then a business, I think, or enterprise or something like that. But for this client, it's just going to be a basic one. So it will cost you about, I don't know, I think it's like £140. So I would maybe add £100 onto that as £240. But what I would say is include hosting for the first year for free with every client you do, because there is so many times I've had a client through the door and I've been like, it'll be £500. Then they say, yeah, okay, no problem. Like, that's quite a lot of money, but yeah, no problem. And then I'm like, oh, by the way, also there's like a £200 hosting thing on top. And they're going, you know what, actually, I'm going to have a think about this. And then they just don't come back to you. So always include hosting free. Do mention it. Just say, you know, in 12 months' time, there will be an annual recurring fee which pays for your hosting, your security, and any small updates you want at the end of the year just to keep your site fresh. That will be let's say $240 for the basic one, $340 for the CMS one, but we don't worry about CMS for now. That's going to be another video. So yeah, $240 a year. If you want to be, you know, on the really kinder side of life, you can do $150, but you're making basically no profit on that. And I think it's good to make a little bit of profit because it does come with some hassle of having to host someone else's website for them. You know, you've got to be essentially renewing it every year, and for you to do that, you have to contact them, and you know, it's your time, so you should be charging for it a little bit. But anyway, so yeah, you've got hosting. The website up front is one revenue stream. So the build, I usually do 50% deposit before and 50% deposit upon completion. However, I'm going to discuss the strategy you should take in the initial stages. And then you've got hosting, which is £240 annually. If you want to make profit on it, or you can call it £20 a month. I personally prefer a one-time payment end of the year because it just keeps admin tidy. And first year hosting, always just include it within your fee. Do not ever mention that you're putting it on top because it scares people away and it will lose you money. And then updates, if people want to have updates past the launch, I think, you know, if they're tiny little updates, always do it on the house because it's essentially putting you into what I call favour ping pong, where you're giving them a favour and then they owe you a favour. It builds up a good relationship. But if they're asking for like extensive updates, they want pages adding, they want functionality adding, you know, it's actually going to like take you a significant amount of time. Then charge £1 per minute and track your minutes. So get your get your iPhone, get your timer on it, set it, and just literally do the updates they've asked you to do. £1 a minute or $1 a minute. It's super transparent. It's really clean. Clients absolutely love it. Most agencies, they charge half day rates or full day rates, and I know this because I used to be a marketing exec within companies, and I had to deal with web agencies. and they would charge starting fee of £400 and a full day fee of £800, and the minimum would be a half day. So it's just fucking ridiculous. So charging £1 a minute is just like music to people's ears. And yeah, anyway, so that's the sort of revenue model. You've got the upfront build, the hosting, and then the updates. Pay you 3 cash flowing streams. And this system alone has built a loyal client base for me early on. Now, this brings us on to the next step, which is sales and getting your first client. So this part is where most people really overthink and stall. And I'll be honest, there is no secret hack. You have to reach out to people, and there's different ways of doing it. And if you don't like speaking with people, you don't like picking the phone up, you don't like going in and speaking with people in person, you can do it via email, WhatsApp, even text. But I'll be honest in saying that the most effective strategy is just to sort of like leave your ego at the door, take your emotion out of it. Like, you're just trying to help them, and if they don't want your help, they don't want your help. But like, just have some courage and speak to people. I find that business owners are actually a lot more approachable than you think, often because they actually at one point were you. They were trying to start their business, and in order to start a business, you have to approach people that are in business. So if someone came up to me and tried to sell me something, I would actually have a lot of respect for them. So I think you should just be confident and do it the hard way, because it will pay off. So I grabbed the local business magazine that came through my front door, and I went through it with a pen, and I circled every single business which didn't have a website. I'd write the name down and then the phone number, and I'd put it into like a spreadsheet, or just like, I think, a notepad actually. And I would then pick up the phone and I would just run through all of these numbers, and I had a pre-made script which I actually can still memorize in my head, because I did it so many times. So I'll write that down, and I'm going to include it as like a thing you can download in my Gumroad. Everything is for free. I'm not going to charge you a penny for anything. It's just a nice way for me to give back, and also consolidate everything that I've kind of done into one place where you guys can download it easily. So yeah, anyway, I grabbed the local magazine, circled every business, wrote down the website, wrote down the phone number, and then I called, I think 20 a day was kind of like my target. I just said to myself, you have to just run through 20 a day. And I kind of detached, like the first few, I was just absolutely shitting myself. I think I actually closed my first one, which was really, really lucky. But I think I was so nervous that the guy kind of felt sorry for me. And honestly, like, that can happen, and that's a great thing. And I think after 3 or 4, my confidence levels just soared, and I was just like, oh my god, it opened up a completely different dimension in my head. Like, things are just there for the taking. So yeah, this is essentially the exact same but online. So I think it was actually the Yellow Pages that used to deliver the directories through the door, or like a local one. But you can just search like the town that you're in. So it's Northampton. I think it will prioritise those without websites. But yeah, you can see the ones here. So yeah, you just want to find some without websites. So you see like Weather Shield Roofing here. You can find these businesses. It might have so it's got a phone number there, so you can just write that down. Weather Shield Roofing. If you do a bit of digging, you might be able to find the owner's name as well. Sometimes if you look in reviews, there might be like, oh yeah, Jim was great, thanks Jim, and you'll be like, oh great, so the owner's called Jim. But yeah, do a bit of digging, build up a list, and then fire away. Our aim of the game here really is just to get like 3 to 10 clients sort of like interested, that you can do a bit of work for, get a portfolio going, and then you can replace the generic clonable content on your existing website as fast as you can, and then you can have your own authentic portfolio that you can be proud of, that you can be confident pushing. Well, you should always be confident, but you can be confident when you know it's your own work, like so. Once you've approached a client, I'm going to leave the script down below, but in short, it's you ring them up and you say, hi, is this Weather Shield Roofing? Oh yeah, I think it is, mate. I don't actually have a portfolio yet, so I was wondering if you'd let me build you a new website for free. There's no catch, but if you like it, you can buy it off me for a very small fee. We're talking, less than 500 quid. And if you don't like it, no problem at all. Like, there's no stress. I will just add it to my portfolio. But obviously, it won't be a real business, so it won't be as good for me. But there's absolutely no risk for you whatsoever. I'm just asking for a chance to prove myself and help support your business with a good website which will bring in customers. When they say yes, if they say yes, when they say yes, you're in business, and ultimately there's probably going to be 9 out of 10, maybe even worse statistics than that, will say no straight away. Oh no, mate, I get these fucking calls all the time. You'll get loads of shit. You just got to leave your emotions and ego at the door and just run through them. It's a numbers game. 20 a day, give or take, just no emotion. Get it done. Anyway, once a client finally says yes, the key information that you're going to want to gather, be it over the phone or via an email or WhatsApp, I would suggest that you try and gather as much information over the phone as possible, and then just keep it really easy over WhatsApp. So you're going to want to gather what service they offer. So obviously with this one, it's kind of obvious. It's external roofing, but you can ask them to kind of like discuss their services if they have any particular. They do guttering, they do jet washing, anything like that. Services, service area, which is really important for search engine optimization. So like the website appearing on Google search, you want to make sure that you have the location down. Any contact details, so the phone number, and email, obviously is going to want to be showcased on the website, so you're going to want to collect those. And then in terms of like branding, so this can be your logos, fonts, colors, anything like that. Some people don't give a shit, especially the tradespeople. They're usually like not very fussy, so they'll just say, "Oh, I've got my logo on, got my logo on Yellow Pages or whatever." So you can just strip that off, and you can use that. Otherwise, I would suggest that you get them to send you any logos or any visual stuff that they have via WhatsApp, or email, or even better still, WeTransfer. But that's a little bit more techy for these guys often. So yeah, any images, so like past work, as you can see on this client here, he essentially sent me his services that he does, which are these here. And then, he said, "Oh, I'm based in Lancaster," so I put in Lancaster. And, he sent me loads of his images, so I've just basically put those in here. And he's also sent me some testimonials, which is great. I don't think he originally sent me these. I think this was later on, when we came to renew after a year or two. You only need to grind like this for like your first 5 clients. If you do a really good job for your first 5 clients and you follow this system, referrals will start doing the selling for you, and that ultimately is the aim of the game with this business, is just to get referrals. I've not marketed myself now for like literally must be 2 or 3 years. It is purely just snowballing referrals. So yeah, what I would say is small pain for a very long-term gain. And I know that's a cliche line, but it's true. So anyway, without further ado, we're now going to go on to chapter 5, which is delivery, which is all about getting paid and going live. So in terms of the actual delivery, as I said, I would suggest using Webflow, and using the Reloom, which is already installed, as we did earlier. So installing Reloom and then having the component libraries and essentially just building it out from there, and adding images and text so that it's your custom to your client. And then once you're done, you can just go up here and click publish. That will publish to a link. So you see here, I'll just republish this now and show you. So before you put it onto what's called like a paid domain, it will go onto your Webflow server, which is just your webflow.io domain. And you can send this to your client, and it's totally for free. I'm going to do an in-depth video on actually like building the site, but I'm just showing you like kind of how to do it. It is super easy to do. The only things I would watch out for is, see in here on the pages, you've got like the meta details here. when you like send this as a link, it'll appear as like the meta title, meta description, and then this open graph preview image. So make sure these are all done. It doesn't say like template or anything like that, because sometimes that can be, it can, you know, kind of ruin your credibility when you send it to your client saying it's done and then it just says template. So yeah, make sure that's done before you send it across, whatever you do. And then once they're happy with it, they might have a few revisions, but I think ultimately if you do a half decent job and you follow what you discussed on the call and WhatsApp and email and stuff, you know, they should be happy with it. And yeah, once you're done, it's the same process as what you did with your portfolio website. You just go on to publishing. You select a plan first, actually. You put it onto like the basic plan, and then you add a custom domain, and then you do it via GoDaddy. If they need you to buy a domain, you can either factor that into the price, or you can just take the hit and then charge them at the end of the year. I'd do the latter. But yeah, that's essentially how you do it. I would never ever put a site live and pay for a plan without getting paid first. So once they're happy with it, get paid. You know, if you're really good at your sales and you've got a good client, they might be happy to pay half up front and half on completion. That's kind of like standard in the industry. But I think when you're first starting out and you've basically just phone called someone and said, hey, I'm some random person you don't know, can I build you a website? I've never built one before. I think it's probably just good practice to just say, listen, I'll do the work for free. I'll send you a free link. You tell me whether you like it or not. And if you like it, you pay me. If you don't like it, I put it to my portfolio and we never speak again. You know, it's a simple model and it gets you started. It's what worked for me. And yeah, that's how I do it to start with. But by all means, if you want to do your own thing, you crack on. So yeah, and that's it. That's a wrap. So that's how I started, and it's exactly how I do it again if I had to start from zero. You know, it doesn't involve Figma. I do think Figma is an awesome tool, don't get me wrong. I'm absolutely all for Figma. But ultimately, you know, if you're building really basic sites like this for businesses which have a basic business model, then, you know, I think there's nothing wrong with expediting and speeding up the process a little bit and using, you know, the tech stack available, which can essentially make up for your lack of experience. And ultimately, this is how I started, and I was just obsessed with it, and I kept learning more and more and more. And I'm a very practical learner, so I kind of learn as I do things. And you know, now I do full-fledged e-com custom builds. I've even built custom templates on the Webflow marketplace. You know, it's and this is where it all started. This is kind of what kind of got me interested and intrigued with Webflow, just because it, you know, it actually enabled you to create your own business, which I think is really cool. So yeah, if you follow these steps, I think you'll have your first paying client faster than you think, and then from there, I think you'll build momentum, confidence, reputation, referrals, and then the rest starts taking care of itself. If you found this video helpful, please hit subscribe. This is a new channel. This is something which I've not really done before, but I'm going to try and throw myself into creating content now. As you can see, I'm a little bit rusty, but I'm going to try and get better. So any constructive feedback would be awesome. Positive or negative feedback is always useful. So yeah, every video I post will go deeper into the various aspects of kind of what I've discussed here and bring you kind of more up to speed as to how I do things now, get a little bit more advanced. This can be from, you know, finding clients to building practices to pricing, you know, creating automation in the process and scaling. But yeah, this channel, you know, it's just all about actually the practical side of running a business using Webflow. And yeah, let's make 2025 the year you stop watching and start building.